Good morning, everybody. My name is Hikari K, and today's my topic is critical thinking in education in Japan and the UK. First of all, I briefly explain why I chose this topic, critical thinking, because before I came here in Japan, I had no idea about critical thinking because there is no definition or translation to critical thinking in Japanese. So I didn't have critical thinking in Japan and to think something critically in education or my life. So after I came here, I realized there is critical thinking around everywhere around me, and it was one of the most impressive things while I'm staying here. So I chose this topic. And today I divided my presentation into 5 key points, which is introduction, international student in the UK, which is included in introduction, and critical thinking in Japan, critical thinking in the UK, and finally conclusion. Let's move on to introduction. First of all, what is critical thinking? I'd like to use a quotation from ASA, which is the American Scientific Application. From ASA, Roosevelt C. said, critical thinking is reasonably and reflectively deciding what to believe or do. Critical thinking means making respondent judgment. Basically, it is using criteria to judge the quality of something, from cooking to a conclusion of research paper. In essence, critical thinking is a disciplined manner of thought that is a person uses to access a variety of something, a statement, news story, argument, research, etc. And critical thinking can restatement this word, which is evaluate thinking, imaginative thinking, and creative thinking. To sum up, critical thinking is how to think, reason, and write in coherent and logical way. Next part of my presentation is international student in the UK. International students in the UK from all over the world are increasing, and they face to many difficulties in the UK in the different culture, and especially in academic aspect. International students face to lack of critical thinking. There is some report from international students about their feeling of lack of critical thinking. According to these researchers, which is international students feel like judged as lacking certain critical skills and feeling constrained by what they see as narrow definitions of critical thinking and writing. So international students are required to understand properly what is critical thinking and act and learn with this critical thinking. Let's move on to critical thinking in Japan. Japan is my country, and Japanese students tend to be being passive and non-participatory, and tend to have harmony-seeking, group-oriented cultures. This is based on Japanese culture, which is cooperative and respect for others. However, there is some Japanese theory that is a tendency of society to overemphasize the individual freedom and right, and also stressing the need to socialize young people into processing respect for rules. In other words, Japanese students should be general, so not have individual comments or opinion. And the significant example is exams in Japan, which called National Center Test for University, which tested after graduate from high school. There is no critical thinking. There is only memorize things and answer the question. There is all answers for every question. So, however, Japan in 21st century is requiring critical thinking. But there is no critical thinking in Japanese educational system. So Japanese students cannot have critical thinking through education. So, it means Japanese education system must be changed. Let's compare it with the UK. In the UK, in the UK, critical thinking is one of the most important elements. According to Huntling M. 2004, thinking skills are essential. And compared with Japanese exams, British exams is almost occupied with essay questions rather than memorizing questions. It means exams are testing how students think of the question or issues. So universities are requiring students who can write persuasively and put forward argument which means critical thinking has been needed since they are child. This brings me the end of my presentation, which is conclusion. To conclude my presentation, I want to recap my sections. So firstly, critical thinking for international students are needed, so necessary, and they should be taught. And also, Japan has the exams to memorize the fact, not think critically compared with the UK. This seems based on the established society and culture in each country. However, critical thinking is necessary for global society in 21st century, so Japan's education must be changed, and UK should keep continuing to teach critical thinking. This is my end of presentation. Thank you for listening, and I'm pleased to answer any questions. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions?
Yes, I have. Thank you, Hikari. Yeah, from your presentation, I learned that critical thinking play a significant role in the student education, right? So, do you have any idea to use the critical thinking correctly in your daily life?
In my daily life,
yes.
in education or every
routine life.
So, I think, in my opinion, I should think about everything from a lot of angles and various ways. Like just not believe someone said something, not believe that. Just think, rethink again in my words again, and again. Is this correct answer or is it okay?
It's okay.
Thanks, Hikari.